This is KGW News at noon.
We start today's news at noon with the verdict in the landmark class action lawsuit against Pacific Power stemming from Oregon's historic wildfires in September of 2020. About an hour ago, the jury ruled that Pacific Power was negligent and should be held financially liable for homes that were destroyed during those fires. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. That trial lasted more than a month. KGW's Evan Watson has been following it from the start. So, Evan, today's verdict means the plaintiffs in this case will get millions of dollars from Pacific Power.
Yes, Drew, millions of dollars in economic and non-economic damages, and the payouts don't stop there. See, this is a class action case, so now the jury moves to the second part of this trial to determine how much money Pacific Power should pay other people who were affected by these wildfires. This Multnomah County jury ruled that Pacific Power was negligent, reckless, and willful, a substantial cause of some of the Labor Day 2020 wildfires. The Santiam Canyon wildfire, the South Obenshon fire, the Echo Mountain fire, and the 242 fire. A judge read the verdict this morning. Following this 7-week trial that was packed with witness testimony, plaintiffs' attorneys argued that Pacific Power Line started these wildfires and that the company destroyed the evidence. The defense argued that Pacific Power shouldn't be held liable for climate change, that other wildfires were to blame, and that preventative power shutoffs were rare at the time. But the jury sided with the plaintiffs on most counts, often with an 11-1 or 10-2 vote. This case could set precedent for power companies in the future and their liability for wildfires when given notice of dangerous windstorms. Pacific Power released a statement following this verdict saying the company plans to pursue appeals and, quote, "We are confident we will prevail." The company also said regardless of the outcome, a trial will never fully restore what was lost in the wildfires. The jury decided that the group of 17 plaintiffs should get collectively a little bit more than $55 million in this case. That jury will be back in court this afternoon to start figuring out all of those class action elements, but this is far from over even at this point. Drew?
All right, Evan Watson reporting live for us this afternoon in downtown Portland. Meanwhile, in just a few hours, the man charged with driving through the Grand Floral Parade over the weekend will be in front of a judge. No one was hurt, but the parade scene became chaotic right about the time it was starting on Saturday morning.
Watch out, watch out. Out of the way, out of the way. What is this guy doing?
Yeah, a viewer shared this video with us. Portland police say 42-year-old Sidney Meacham went around several barricades to get onto the parade route. He was finally stopped near Northeast 24th and Clackamas Street. Meacham now faces multiple charges, and it turns out he's also a registered sex offender with a long criminal history. The Rose Festival's Fleet Week is officially over, with the last of the ships that were docked there along the Willamette River in downtown Portland over the weekend taking off this morning. And that meant more bridge lifts this morning. 10 ships from the U.S. Navy, Coast Guard, Royal Canadian Navy, and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers were in town for the annual event, and thousands of people had the chance to tour them for free. All right, today would have been the day to stay here in Portland, Chris. It is pretty much perfect weather if you like that summertime Portland sunny weather.
We welcome the Navy ships on a drizzly, rainy day on Friday, right? And now we've got brilliant sunshine out there, and the bridge lifts are done now. We can verify that here from our Wells Fargo sky camera. That is the Burnside Bridge, Morrison Bridge, Burnside Bridge, steel, and just out of the beyond the big pink there is the Broadway Bridge. So, okay, we're done with that, and we are on our way to the warmest day of the week. It's 76 last check at PDX, and the temperatures across the region are a whole 5 to, in some cases, 10 degrees warmer today than they were yesterday at this time. That's what this map is showing us. Scappoose right now, 8 degrees warmer than yesterday at this time. Eugene, 10 degrees warmer than yesterday at this time. So as we look at the temperatures across the state, most of the Willamette Valley in the mid to upper 70s right now at lunchtime. We're 85 now in the Dalles. That looks like the warm spot. And the Oregon coast inching through the 50s and 60s, 64 right now in Astoria. Checking out the satellite radar loop over the last 6 hours, we are watching more showers popping in eastern Oregon. Note the cloud cover that's been trying to pop up along the Cascades as well. That may trigger a shower later today for you folks. Meanwhile, our next weather maker offshore here, that'll be the leading edge of a cool push that comes in tonight, meaning big changes for tomorrow. In terms of today and the rest of our Monday afternoon, it's just sunshine all day long. Note the sunset, 9 o'clock, the first of 26 consecutive 9 o'clock sunsets, 9 o'clock or later here as we get into the summer months. 88 degrees for a high this afternoon, and then a big cool down coming our way for tomorrow. More on that and your 7-day in just a few.
All right, Chris, we look forward to that. Right now, we want to get back to some of our news headlines this afternoon. It's been a month since a big sinkhole opened up there in Portland's Mount Tabor neighborhood, and there's still no timeline for when it will be repaired. So it happened back on May 12th at Southeast 76th and Yamhill. We reached out to PBOT for an update. The city tells us it's taking longer to fix the hole because of supply chain issues, and they don't have the materials on hand to do the work. A much bigger issue in Philadelphia. Take a look at this. A portion of I-95 is expected to be closed for months after a tanker fire collapsed that section of the freeway early Sunday morning. This morning's commute in Philly was an absolute mess. State and federal investigators are on the scene right now to assess the damage. Back here in Portland, police are asking for help to solve a string of thefts at the Southwest Community Center on Southwest 45th in Vermont. Officers say they've taken 8 reports of locker break-ins since January. Mara LeGrand says she's one of the victims. There she is. She told us someone stole her keys and her wallet, then took off from the community center in her car with her dogs inside.
I wish Southwest Community Center would post something that says, do not leave anything valuable.
LeGrand says the thief used her credit cards before she was able to cancel them. Southwest Community Center staff, meanwhile, tells KGW that they do provide locks for their lockers for anyone who asks for them. Threats shut down a drag queen storytime event that was supposed to take place in Tigard on Sunday, but they didn't stop another Pride event from happening in Milwaukee. So this is a look at yesterday's sold-out drag queen bingo event at the Milwaukee Community Center. But let's get back to that City of Tigard-sponsored drag queen storytime event that did not happen yesterday. Tigard police canceled that event because of safety concerns.
It's really disheartening, but, public safety is number one.
At yesterday's event in Milwaukee, 150 people bought bingo tickets for $50 each. The proceeds will go to support Clackamas County's Meals on Wheels program. Preparations are underway for former President Donald Trump's court appearance tomorrow. He was indicted last week over the classified documents he had at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Trump is the first former president ever indicted on federal charges. NBC's Bree Jackson has the latest for us from Washington, D.C.
Former President Trump heading to Florida just one day before his historic appearance in a Miami federal court. Trump spent much of the weekend lashing out against the investigation into his handling of classified documents.
The baseless indictment of me by the Biden administration's weaponized Department of Injustice will go down as among the most horrific abuses of power in the history of our country.
Special counsel Jack Smith unsealed a 37-count federal indictment against Mr. Trump, alleging he schemed to keep sensitive material, knowing many of the documents were classified. Trump's own attorney general weighed in.
I was shocked by the degree of sensitivity of these documents and how many there were, frankly.
On Capitol Hill, top Republicans are defending Trump.
This is the most political thing I have ever seen.
Sadly, that this is who he is, that he feels the law applies to other people, it doesn't apply to him.
Potential voters are also divided over the current 2024 GOP frontrunner's legal troubles.
There's a lot of things that's against him, so you got to be done some of them, Might not be done all of them, but it did some of them.
I think it is very biased. We've got other presidents that have taken material and they're not being treated the same way.
I think at the end of the day, we need to let this go through the justice system and not make it a political spectacle.
The former president says he will plead not guilty. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.